Most people are too scared to tell you that some of these legendary tracks are actually bottom tier filler. They'd rather play it safe than be honest. Well, not here. I've spent months performing musical surgery on these tracks, separating the bangers from the overrated garbage. This is the complete ranking. Every song, every take, and zero apologies. If your favorite song is at the bottom, don't blame me. Blame the music. Let's start with the garbage.
Before we dive into the tracks, we gotta respect the talent behind the music. Here's the lineup for the Bad Boys of Boston: Steven Tyler on vocals, the Toxic Twins dynamic with Joe Perry and Brad Whitford on guitar, Tom Hamilton holding down the bass, and Joey Kramer behind the drums. And look, a quick shout out to Ray Tabano from the early days, plus Jimmy Crespo and Rick DeFay. They kept the guitars loud during the wild era of the early 80s. That's the legacy. Now let's take a look at the scale we're going to be using to rank these tracks. This is the song by song ranking scale that we're going to be using. Alright, without wasting any more time, we're just going to jump straight into the rankings, starting with number 191, the worst song in Aerosmith history. Relax, it's not even a song. It's called Prelude to Joni, off of their album Rockin' a Hard Place. No explanation needed. It's not really a song, but it's on the album, so I included it. Next up, ranked at number 190, from the album Get a Grip. The name of this track is called Intro. Same deal. You could use this interchangeably with Prelude to Joni. Neither one of them are really songs. They're just filler for the album, where basically they're just talking or playing a cutscene. Now we're going to go to number 189. This is the first actual song on the list, and in my opinion, this is the worst song in Aerosmith history. It's called Theme from Spider-Man, and the reason I have it so low is because it's a gimmick. It's a paycheck song. It's got no business being in the catalog of the greatest rock band from Boston. Number 188, Lizard Love. This sounds like a bad commercial for a car I'd never buy. It's got zero soul, just pure junk. Number 187, Just Push Play. From their album, Just Push Play. They're scratching records here and trying to act 20 years younger. It's pathetic. It's a plastic song. Number 186, also from the album Just Push Play, Light Inside. It's noise. There's no hook, no riff, just a bunch of guys in a studio hoping something sticks. It didn't. Number 185, from their album Music from Another Dimension. Song is called Tell Me. This is a nap in song form. It's lazy. They checked the ballad box and went straight to lunch. Number 184, from their album Just Push Play, Drop Dead Gorgeous. It's got a decent riff. Joe Perry's tone is actually good, and it at least feels like a proper song, but it is not appealing to the ears whatsoever. Number 183, from their album Honkin' on Bobo, we have Temperature. It's the definition of nothing. It's a filler track that exists so the CD isn't 20 minutes long. Number 182, What Kind of Love Are You On? It's solid only because the production doesn't make my ears bleed, but it's still a skip. Number 181, from their album Permanent Vacation, Girl Keeps Coming Apart. It's got a beat. That's the only compliment I'm giving it. It's more than annoying. Coming in at number 180, from their album Nine Lives, Something's Gotta Give. It's got a harmonica, and at least you can say that about the song. Still garbage. Rolling in at number 179, also from the album Nine Lives. Crash. It's fast, and that's it. It's over quickly, which is its best feature. Number 178, Fall Together. If I have to pick a winner from this tier, it's this. It's a solid waste of time, but the chorus isn't as offensive as the rest. I call this the cheap material tier. It's basically the stuff that isn't terrible, but it's just filler. It's the songs where you can tell the band was just kind of going through the motions. Let's kick things off with number 177, Love XXX. Too much filler, not enough killer. That's all I'm going to say about this one. Number 176, Beautiful. This is modern fluff. It's solid, but barely. Number 175, the third straight song off of their album Music from Another Dimension, Legendary Child. Trying a bit too hard to sound like old Aerosmith in my opinion. Number 174, also from Music from Another Dimension, Closer. It's a ballad. It's fine. Whatever, but that's about all it is. Number 173, from their album Just Push Play, Out of Your Head. Just Push Play vibes. It's solid, but forgettable. Number 172, also from Just Push Play, Under My Skin. It's got a decent groove, but it doesn't go anywhere. Number 171, also from Just Push Play. Song is called Trip Hoppin'. It's safe, but it's way too safe. Number 170, from their album Done with Mirrors, Gypsy Boots. The grit is there, but the song isn't. Number 169, Shaky Ground. A cover that's fair, but it's not a masterpiece by any means. Number 168, I'm Not Talking. This is standard rock. No bells, no whistles. Number 167, from their album Music from Another Dimension, Something. Joe Perry on vocals is always solid, but it's B-side for a reason. Number 166, from their album Honkin' on Bobo. Song is called Roadrunner. Good energy, but it's a standard Bo Diddley cover. Number 165, also from their album Honkin' on Bobo, Baby Please Don't Go. Classic blues, nothing more, nothing less. Number 164, also from the album Honkin' on Bobo, Back Train. Joe Perry blues, it's okay, but it's a little too slow for my liking. Number 163, also from Honkin' on Bobo. And before we do this one, yes, the next song is from the same album. Stop Messing Around, a staple. It's good, but we've heard it a million times. Number 162, Jesus is on the Main Line. The gospel vibe is solid. It just feels a little bit weird coming from Aerosmith. Number 161, Major Barbara. This is an old school deep cut. It's got heart, and that's about it. Number 160, Head First. This is a get a grip leftover, basically. It's got a decent kick, and that's about it. Number 159, Don't Stop. Standard 90s Aerosmith. It's quality craftsmanship, but nothing stands out is the problem. Number 158 from their album Nine Lives, Attitude Adjustment. Harder edge, and I respect the effort, but it still doesn't do anything for me. Number 157 from their album Get a Grip, Flesh. The groove is legit here. It's a step in the right direction. But if only the vocals were better. I just feel like Steven Tyler was lazy on this one. Number 156, Nine Lives, Taste of India. It's ambitious, and it's better than the usual radio junk. It also has that Indian kind of vibe, so it's different. But again, it just feels weird coming from Aerosmith. Number 155 from their album Rockin' a Hard Place, Push Comes to Shove. Gritty 80s stuff here. It's got that southern toughness to it, but not much more beyond that. Number 154 from Get Your Wings album, Spaced. Trippy, but has a heavy riff. I'd have to be in an open-minded mood to enjoy this, so that's why it ranks so low on the list. Number 153 from the album Get a Grip, Boogeyman. Instrumental. It's quality work from Joe Perry. Would have been better with Steven Tyler's vocals, in my opinion. Number 152, Walk on Water. The Big Ones track. It's a solid rocker, but it lacks depth. Number 151, Angel's Eye. It's a soundtrack song that actually has some grit to it, but it's still lazy work. Number 150, Riff and Roll. Does exactly what the title says, no nonsense, but it's too chaotic to be considered as a serious song. Number 149, All Your Love. This is how you play the blues without being boring. The only problem is the next step above boring is average. Number 148, Up on the Mountain. It's got that raw, unpolished energy. Excuse me. Has potential, but didn't really live up to that potential. Number 147, Oasis in the Night. It's a mood song that feels authentic. The song itself is lacking, though. Number 146, from their album Draw the Line, The Hand That Feeds. It's solid rock and roll, tight, loud, and honest, but it's nothing special, let's be honest. Number 145, from their album Permanent Vacation, Hangman Jury. The storytelling here is actually pretty good. The song just doesn't have anything that pulls you in other than the lyrics. Number 144, Somebody. This is the blueprint. It's where the whole sound started. With that being said, it still lacks punch to be considered as anything more than filler. Number 143, also from their first album, Aerosmith, Moving Out. It's got that southern swagger. It's just a bit too basic. And we're going to end things today on the final song of Tier 3, number 142, also from their first album, Aerosmith, One Way Street, the king of Tier 3 here. It's 7 minutes of masterful blues rock. Don't get it twisted. These songs in Tier 3 still aren't that great, but I'm trying to draw positives at this point. It's time for Tier 4. These tracks prove that Aerosmith was in a rush to get the job done. The sad reality is, these songs have potential. It's like they decided to write 75% hit song and then 25% filler. Come on, Aerosmith. Don't let the deadline water down your work. The fans deserve better. Let's pick up where we left off at number 141 from their album Music from Another Dimension, Freedom Fighter. Joe Perry on vocals trying to be punk. It's a mess. They cut corners on the melody here. Number 140, off their album Rockin' a Hard Place. Joni's Butterfly. A flute. Really? This doesn't feel like Aerosmith, but I admire the trying something new tactic, and the track isn't all that bad. Number 139, from Music from Another Dimension. Another Last Goodbye. This is a ballad that feels like it was written in 5 minutes to fill space. The lyrics are bland and cheesy. Give my heart a break. Kiss away the tears. Pissed off and alone. Come on. Number 138. Music from Another Dimension again. We all fall down. Sounds like a corporate pitch for a movie soundtrack. Just no soul, just a paycheck. Number 137, also from Music from Another Dimension. Can't Stop Loving You. The duet feels forced. It's a marketing move, not a musical move. Number 136, Permanent Vacation album. The Movie. This is an instrumental that's basically a long sound check. Finish the song next time. Number 135, from Music from Another Dimension. And if you can't tell, this album is pretty trash. Love Her a Lot. This is a frantic mess. It sounds like they were rushing to finish the session before the bar closed. Number 134, also from Music from Another Dimension. Street Jesus. It's got a fast riff, but it repeats forever. They cut corners on the arrangement here. Number 133, from their album Music from Another Dimension. Oh yeah. This is filler in its purest form. It's a generic blues rocker with a lazy title. Number 132, off their album Honkin' on Bobo. I'm Ready. They in fact were not ready. It sounds like a pump era reject. It's got the sound, but none of the actual hooks. Number 131, Rockin' Pneumonia and the Boogie Woogie Flu. This is a cover they did for a soundtrack. It's fine, but there's no work put into making it their own. Number 130, Sedona Sunrise. A sleepy Joe Perry track. It's nice for a nap, but it's missing the Tyler energy. Number 129, Devil's Got a New Disguise. Written to sell a greatest hits album, pretty much. It feels like a product, not a song. At least the lyrics are decent on this one. Number 128, Won't Let You Down. It's a safe, mid-tempo track that takes zero risks. The safe choice is the lazy choice. Number 127, Lay It Down. The riff is solid here, but the chorus is weak. They didn't finish the job in the writing room. Number 126, Sunny Side of Love. This one's too bright and poppy. It sounds like they were trying to be the Beatles and completely missed. Number 125, Falling Off. This is another Perry vocal track that feels like it's missing a second verse. Number 124, Once Is Enough. A Vacation era track that sounds like they were just imitating themselves. Number 123, off their album Pump. Don't get mad, get even. The lyrics are tough guy cliches. It's a bit too theatrical for my taste. Number 122, also from their album Pump. My Girl. No, I'm not talking about the Temptations. This is a basic rocker. It's the vanilla ice cream of their catalog. Number 121, Bitches Brew. It's dark and heavy, but the production is a muddy mess. They cut corners in the booth here. Number 120 from their album Rockin' a Hard Place, Bolivian Ragamuffin. Great energy on this one, but the song structure is all over the place. It's very disjointed. Number 119, Jig Is Up. A Hard Place era track that just doesn't have a memorable hook. Number 118, off their album Done with Mirrors, The Hop. It's a fun jam, but it feels like they just press record on a rehearsal. Number 117, off their album Just Push Play, Avant Garden. Way too much production fluff. I can barely hear the band under all the effects. Number 116, off their album Nine Lives, Kiss Your Past Goodbye. This is a 90s radio track that feels manufactured. It's got no soul behind it whatsoever. Number 115, off their album Just Push Play, Beyond Beautiful. There's a good song in here somewhere, but it's buried under too many layers. Number 114, Honkin' on Bobo, Eyesight to the Blind. A Bobo cover. It's a decent, but it's essentially a glorified bar band cover. Nothing special here. Number 113, also off of Honkin' on Bobo, Never Loved a Girl. Again, a cover. They relied too much on other people's hits during this era, and it really shows. Number 112, off their album Permanent Vacation, I'm Down. A Beatles cover, once again, that doesn't add anything new. It's just a lazy addition to the album. Number 111, from Honkin' on Bobo, Shame, Shame, Shame. A decent blues track, but it feels like they're just going through the motions. Number 110, off their Honkin' on Bobo album, You Gotta Move. They play it well, but it's a standard blues progression we've heard forever. Number 109, from their album Music from Another Dimension, Out Go the Lights. It's got a great groove, but the lyrics feel like an afterthought. Number 108, from their album Permanent Vacation. Song title is Permanent Vacation. It's okay, but it feels a bit too Disney-fied for a title track. Number 107, Permanent Vacation cut, St. John. This one has a swampy, cool kind of vibe, but it drags on for like a minute too long. Number 106, also from Permanent Vacation album, Heart's Done Time. This one's a good opener that loses steam about halfway through. I feel like it needed a better bridge. Number 105, off their album Done with Mirrors, Shayla. Very 80s pop rock. It's catchy, but it feels a bit lightweight for this band. Number 104, also from Done with Mirrors, My Fist, Your Face. The title is funny, but the song itself is just a standard mid-tempo rocker. Number 103, off their album Rockin' a Hard Place, Jailbait. This one is fast and aggressive, but the lyrics are a bit cringe looking back on it. Number 102, off their album Draw the Line, Bright Light Fright. Joe Perry's punk moment here. It's got energy, but the vocals are thin. And finally, number 101, from their album Draw the Line, Sight for Sore Eyes. A cool riff that gets lost in the Draw the Line era muddy production. That's tier 4 for now. We've cleared the bottom, but the top 100 still has some cutting corners nonsense. We're almost at 1,200 subs, and I'm going to celebrate by telling you guys why Deuces Are Wild is complete garbage. If you're new here, get used to it. We're officially in the top 100, but don't get it twisted. that doesn't mean that tracks are actually good here. We're still stuck in the cutting corners tier, and most of these songs are lucky to even be on this list. Let's start with number 100. Off their album Night in the Ruts, Think About It. This one's a Yardbirds cover. It's a good tribute, but it's still not an original, and they didn't make too many changes to it, so I classify it as cutting corners. Number 99, also off of Night in the Ruts, 3 Mile Smile. It's got that gritty 70s feel, but the chorus sounds like a guy trying to win a wrestling match while wearing a clown suit. It's trying so hard to be tough that it forgets it looks like a complete joke to everyone else. Number 98, also from Night in the Ruts, Chiquita. The horns here are great, but it's like someone took a raw, greasy garage rocker and ran it through a car wash 20 times. It's so shiny and polished that you can't even recognize the band anymore. Number 97, Ain't Enough. This one's a solid B-side that probably should have replaced a weaker track on Vacation. Number 96, Can't Stop Messin'. Now this one has a high-speed energy, but it's a bit of a one-trick pony. Number 95, Deuces Are Wild. Yes, you heard me correctly. This was a big radio ballad and hit single for the band. I don't know why though. This is the audio version of a greeting card you buy at a gas station when you forget your anniversary. It's technically polite, totally hollow, and you're going to throw it in the trash in like 5 minutes. Number 94, Blind Man. A hit for a reason, but it feels like it was written specifically for MTV. Number 93, Chip Away at the Stone. This one is a great barroom rocker that feels just a little too restrained in the studio. It's like having a Ferrari and never taking it out of first gear. You can hear the engine begging to scream, but the producer has his foot on the brake on this one. Number 92 off their album Done with Mirrors. Let the music do the talking. It's a classic, but it's a redo. They cut corners by using an old Joe Perry song. Number 91 off their original album Aerosmith, Write Me a Letter. You can hear the raw 1973 hunger on this one, but it's like trying to listen to a sermon through a tin can and a string. The passion is there, but the production quality is so offensive it sounds like the band recorded it in a dumpster behind a Greyhound bus station. I'm not even kidding. Number 90, off their album Toys in the Attic. I'm gonna get some hate for this one too. Uncle Salty. It's got a great atmosphere, don't get me wrong, and the bare bones of the track is there, but it never really explodes like it should. Number 89, off their album Draw the Line, Milk Cow Blues. This is a hard blues cover. It's heavy, but again, it's a cover and they didn't make too many changes to it, so it's classified as cutting corners to me. Number 88, off their album Rock in a Hard Place, Lightning Strikes. The best thing they did in the early 80s, not gonna lie. It's legit, but it's thin sounding. Number 87, also from Rock in a Hard Place, the title track, Rock in a Hard Place, Cheshire Cat. This sounds like the band took a massive dose of mushrooms and tried to soundtrack a space movie they hadn't seen. It's not art, it's just weird, confusing. It's like a detour that makes you want to check your GPS. I'll put it that way. Number 86 off their album Nine Lives. Title track Nine Lives. A massive riff, but the song gets a bit cluttered with all the sound effects. Number 85 off their album Rocks. Lickin' a Promise. High octane rock here. It's solid, but they've written this exact song before. Number 84, also from the Rocks album, Combination. This song is like that weird moody guy at the bar who thinks he's in a mob movie. He's got the leather jacket and the attitude, but he's just sitting there drinking a Diet Coke by himself. Number 83, also off their Rocks album, Rats in the Cellar. I'm guessing this is their attempt at speed metal. It's like a high speed car chase that ends because the driver got bored and just parked the car in the middle of the highway. It's a total anticlimax that just leaves you wondering if you missed a turn. Number 82 off their album Draw the Line, title track Draw the Line. The king of Tier 4 here is the last Cutting Corner song that I have for Aerosmith. It's a chaotic, sloppy mess, but it's an iconic mess. That's going to do it for Tier 4. We've made it through the trash and the filler. From here on out, these songs are solid, and they're songs that you might want to throw in your playlist. And I will say this, I know I've been hard on Aerosmith. It's because I hold music to a high standard. And I will give credit where credit is due. For them to have 81 songs that I consider solid or above, using this harsh of a grading system, my hat's off to them. That's insane amount of talent and work. And I know I've been trashing them for a good majority of this series, but they do deserve the credit now. And now we're going to get to see why they're a legendary rock band. Let's kick off Tier 5, the average tier. Coming in at number 81, Girls of Summer. This is vacation music. It's too light. It's the cheap material of Tier 5, is a good way to put it. However, it's still a solid song, and I don't want to take away the credit. It's a complete thought, and it sounds pleasing to the ears. Number 80, Just Push Play album, Love Lies. It's a bit too manufactured, but it's still an average radio track. It just doesn't bring anything else to the table. Number 79, also from the Just Push Play album, Sunshine. It's like someone tried to make a rock song while on a mild dose of cough syrup. It's clean, it's trippy, and it's about as dangerous as a golden retriever in a sweater. I'll let it play, but only because I don't feel like getting up to change the station. Number 78, from the Nine Lives album, Pink. This one might shock a lot of people, and it is a fun song, but it's a gimmick song. It doesn't have the danger of a real rocker, so I can't put it further up on this list. Number 77, Ain't That a Bitch. Great title, but the 90s production kind of flattens the attitude. And coming in at number 76, off their Get a Grip album, Gotta Love It. This is the definition of a clock in, clock out song. It's a perfectly functional piece of machinery, but it doesn't have a soul. It's like the middle management of Aerosmith songs. It gets the job done, nobody complains about it, but nobody's naming a building after it either. Let's go ahead and jump straight into the top 75 Aerosmith songs of all time. Starting with number 75, from their album Get a Grip, Shut Up and Dance. This one's great for a workout, but it's a bit pop metal for my taste. Number 74, also from the Get a Grip album, title track Get a Grip. It's like a seasoned mechanic changing an alternator with his eyes closed. The work is flawless, but his mind is clearly already on a cold beer after his shift. Number 73, off their album Nine Lives, Full Circle. This is a serviceable mid-tempo track. It's got a good message, but lacks the bite to really push it over the edge. Number 72, off their album Just Push Play, Jaded. I know a lot of you have this one higher, probably call me all kinds of names right now, but listen, it's a great pop song. Let's be honest. It's average because it's safe. Number 71, from their album Honkin' on Bobo, The Grind. This is what I like to call a blue collar blues track. It's solid, but in all honesty, we've heard them do better. Number 70, from their Get a Grip album, Walk On Down. This is Joe Perry finding his Keith Richards voice. It's honest and it's raw. Number 69, off their Get a Grip album, Fever. This is a high energy cover. It's like ordering a triple shot of whiskey right after a brutal shift. It hits you fast, knocks you on your back, and you get exactly what you signed up for. Number 68, off the Pump album, Hoodoo Voodoo Medicine Man. This is dark and atmospheric. It's got that Guns N' Roses tension that never quite breaks. Solid track. Number 67, from their Pump album, Young Lust. This is pure 80s swagger. It's the base model of a great Aerosmith rocker. Number 66, also from the Pump album, Fine, Fine. Fast, sleazy, and loud. This is the stuff that you can build a career on right here. Number 65, off their Permanent Vacation album, Samaria. It's quirky, it's loose, and it feels like an Exile on Main Street outtake. This is a true hidden gem. Number 64, also from the Permanent Vacation album, Magic Touch. A great 80s hook, it's solid, and it shows great rock and roll craftsmanship. Number 63, off the Done With Mirrors album, Darkness. A moody, heavy closer. It's got some real soul to it. Number 62, also from the Done With Mirrors album, The Reason a Dog. It's funky, it's weird, and I respect the effort to try something different. Number 61, off the Night in the Ruts album, Bone to Bone, Coney Island White Fish Boy. This is high speed chaos. You can see where the bands like Guns N' Roses were influenced by them here. Like riding a stolen dirt bike through a crowded neighborhood without a helmet on. It's reckless, loud, and completely out of control. But every single kid on the sidewalk is watching in absolute awe. Number 60, from the Night in the Ruts album, Reeferhead Woman. This is dirty, slow burn blues. Unlike most of their covers so far, they actually make this song better. Number 59, Night in the Ruts album, Cheesecake. Great slide work here. It's got that swagger that most bands cannot touch. This track is mean and hungry. If the chorus wasn't so terrible, I'd move it into the top 50. They should have kept the swampy groove going instead of changing it to sunshine and rainbows. Number 58, from the Night in the Ruts album, No Surprise. A great story song. It's the history of the band set to a 5-star riff. Number 57, from the Draw the Line album, Get It Up. This one's a hard-nosed rocker. It's quality work from a legendary band. Number 56, from the Draw the Line album, Critical Mass. It's messy and loud. It's average only because it's so chaotic. Number 55, also from the Draw the Line album, I Wanna Know Why. A Saturday night anthem, pure 70s Stones energy here. Number 54, off the Rocks album, Sick as a Dog. That bass line is legit. It's got a great loose pocket. Tom Hamilton usually handles the bass for Aerosmith, but it's actually Joe Perry that's playing here, and he does not disappoint. Number 53, off the Toys in the Attic album, Adam's Apple. One of the best riffs in their catalog. It's honestly an overlooked gem that captures a perfect mix of feel and swagger. Number 52, from their Toys in the Attic album, title track Toys in the Attic. This is the ultimate high energy opener. It's certified tough, and it's like kicking down the front door of a joint instead of knocking. It completely sets the rules of the house on second one and lets everybody in the room know exactly who is running the show. Number 51, off the Get Your Wings album, Pandora's Box. The grit is off the charts here. It's funky, dirty, rock and roll. That's going to do it for part 5, number 50. From their album 9 Lives, The Farm. The song is heavy, weird, and aggressive. It's a standout in the mid tier. Number 49, from their album Rockin' a Hard Place, Cry Me a River. Now, this is a ballad that actually works. It really showcases Tyler's range and heart. Number 48, from their album Music from Another Dimension, What Could Have Been Love. This is a big time ballad. It's almost got that November Rain feel, but it's a little more polished. Number 47, from their album Just Push Play, Fly Away From Here. I know it's average for some, but the bones of this ballad are very strong. Number 46, from their album 9 Lives, Fallen Angels. This one's epic and dark. It's got that classic ballad feel, and you can listen to it and be completely fulfilled. Number 45, from their Pump album, Monkey on My Back. It's a little repetitive, but this song's got the attitude of a guy arguing with a parking meter. Is he winning? Probably not. Is he backing down? Absolutely not. Number 44, from their album Get Your Wings, Seasons of Wither. This song hangs over you like a thunderstorm that refuses to leave town. Not one of those little summer showers. We're talking a real cancel your weekend kind of storm. Number 43, also from the Get Your Wings album, SOS, Too Bad. Pure punk rock energy right here. The fastest, meanest thing on this list so far. Number 42, from their Aerosmith album, Walkin' the Dog. Look, the Rolling Stones are the greatest rock and roll band in history, but Aerosmith took Walkin' the Dog and basically stole the title for a day. This song is pure rock and roll from start to finish. That's going to do it for tier 5. We're about to get into tier 6, the legit tier. These songs are above average. Because these songs are so much better, I'm going to start breaking down these songs a little more heavily. So you're going to get more insight into why these songs are so much better, not just me telling you. Number 41, Love Me Two Times. It's a cover, but it's a heavyweight cover. They respected the blueprint on this one and just added more muscle to the frame. For starters, it swaps the original harpsichord for a thick, overdriven guitar riff. The swing feel is heavier, and Tyler's vocal runs during the chorus add a layer of grit that just wasn't in the 1960s version by The Doors. Number 40, from their Aerosmith album, Make It. This is the ultimate opening statement. It sounds like a band just trying to prove they belong on the stage. Features a high-speed ascending guitar line. The structure is simple, verse, chorus, solo, but the legit factor comes from the double time energy and the way the bridge drops into a brief, funky breakdown before the final push. Number 39, off their album Night in the Ruts, Mia. This is a haunting closer. It shows they can build something delicate without it being cheap. It's a piano-led ballad that shifts into a heavy, distorted wall of sound. The transition at the 3-minute mark where the heavy drums kicks in is a masterclass in dynamic tension. It's dark, it's moody, and it's very structurally sound. Number 38, off their album Done with Mirrors, Shame on You. This song's looser than a screen door on a fishing boat, but somehow that's exactly why it works. It's built on a sliding blues riff. The structure is very Stonesy, but it relies on the chemistry between the two guitars. The outro jam is the highlight. It feels like a live session that was perfectly caught on tape. Number 37, off the Get Your Wings album, Woman of the World. This thing's put together better than a guy who spent 6 months building a backyard deck and he won't stop talking about it. Every piece is exactly where it needs to be. It starts with a slow, atmospheric intro before hitting a syncopated rhythm. The bridge features a harmonica solo that actually matches the guitar intensity. That's not easy to do. It's not just a rocker, it's a composition with some real layers. Number 36, off the Rocks album, Get the Lead Out. This is pure, unadulterated swagger. This is the blueprint for hard rock attitude. It's all about the staccato riff. The song structure is tight, there's no wasted space, the cowbell gives it that 70s grit, and the way the guitar solo talks back to the vocals in the bridge is high level craftsmanship. Number 35, off their Toys in the Attic album, You See Me Crying. This one's an epic power ballad. This thing's built like one of those Vegas fountains. Every 30 seconds, something bigger happens, and you're standing there wondering who paid for all this. It features a full orchestral arrangement over a complex piano melody. The song moves from a vulnerable verse into a crescendo that features one of Joe Perry's most melodic solos. It's a legit masterpiece in terms of scale. Number 34 off their Nine Lives album, Hole in My Soul. A later era gem that proves they still knew how to write a heavyweight ballad well into the 90s. It follows a ballad to rocker arc, and the bones of the song are the minor key acoustic verses that explode into a massive anthem style chorus. The bridge modulation creates a sense of desperation that matches the lyrics perfectly. Number 33 off the Get Your Wings album, Lord of the Thighs. This is the king of Tier 6. This track's dirtier than a pool hall carpet and somehow twice as charming. It's 7 minutes of bad decisions making excellent music. It's built on Joey Kramer's funky drum groove. The structure is a slow burn. It starts as a shuffle and builds into a 7-minute extended jam. The dual guitar interplay in the outro isn't just playing, it's like a conversation. It's the ultimate legit track. That's going to do it for Tier 6. We're about to start with Tier 7, the respectable tracks. Number 32, off their album Night in the Ruts, Remember Walking in the Sand. This is the first Tier 7 song on the list, and it's a heavyweight cover. They took a girl group classic and basically turned it into a dark gothic rock anthem. It relies on a minor key atmospheric intro and massive crashing power chords in the chorus. The structure creates a sense of dread, using stop-start dynamics to let Tyler's vocals hang in the air just before the band slams back in. Number 31 off their Toys in the Attic album, big 10-inch record. This one might surprise you, but this is the fountain of their blues rock identity. It's a 1950s blueprint, rebuilt with 1970s muscle. It's a high-speed jump blues, it's witty, and the structure is driven by a walking bass line and stuttering guitar rhythm. It's tight, it's professional, and it has that loose but dangerous kind of swagger. Number 30 off their Get a Grip album, Eat the Rich. A masterclass in nasty tone. It's a modern rocker that feels like it was forged in a scrapyard. Built on a low E, gritty riff that's syncopated with the kick drum, the structure is a punch and move. Heavy verses that lead into a high energy anthem chorus with a harmonic heavy solo. Number 29 off the Nine Lives album, Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees. I know what you're thinking. The title is corny as fuck. Excuse my French. And it is. Don't get me wrong. But this is the custom model of their 90s era. It's got a complex, funky architecture that most bands can't pull off. It features a horn-driven section, and the song structure is layered. The verses are sparse and funky, leading into a dense, melodic chorus. The bridge is a legit departure that keeps the listener on their toes. Number 28, off their Toys in the Attic album, Round and Round. This riff crawls out of the speakers like a bear that just woke up from hibernation and immediately chose violence. It's built on a thick, churning, droning riff in the key of F minor. It's actually an F minor 7, which the only difference is it's basically an F minor with an added E flat. The structure is a slow, relentless grind. It's heavy, it's dark, and it showcases the bones of the Perry Whitford guitar team, working in complete unison to create a massive sound. Number 27, also off the Toys in the Attic album, No More, No More. This is rock and roll perfection. It's the grand design of their mid-70s peak. It's a multi-guitar tapestry. The song structure is incredible. It moves through multiple sections, featuring an iconic piano-guitar interplay and a long melodic outro solo that tells a story of its own. It's elegant and it's tough. Number 26 off the Get a Grip album. You can hate me all you want, but it's not going to change anything. Living on the Edge. Now, I love this song. I know we all do, but we got to be honest here. It's an epic build, and it shows heavyweight songwriting that tackles big themes without losing the rock and roll edge. It's an acoustic to electric crescendo, basically. It starts with a simple folk-style acoustic line and builds into a massive wall of sound. The structure is cinematic, especially the thunderous drum-heavy bridge, but I just don't see it in the top 25 because they have so many other amazing songs.
Number 25, off their Get a Grip album. Amazing. Song was released in 1993. This is Aerosmith at their most emotional, but also at their most polished. And that's exactly why it sits at number 25 instead of climbing higher. This is like a championship level team that executes perfectly all game, but never lands a knockout punch. You respect everything about it, but it's not the one you remember when the season's over. It's in the key of A minor, and all 5 songs that we're going to be going over today are in standard tuning. That's what Aerosmith usually plays in. The piano is what really drives this song. It's centered around an open major feel with this D, A, B minor, G progression. That helps do most of the emotional lifting and leaves a lot of space for Steven Tyler to just live in the vocal range here. And Steven Tyler is really doing 2 different performances here. In the verses, he's restrained and almost in like this storytelling mode. But when the chorus hits, he opens it up completely. That's where you get those big melodic leaps and that full emotional delivery. The bass is simple, but that's the point. It's mostly root notes, locking everything in and just supporting the emotional build instead of trying to stand out. Same thing with the drums. It starts super controlled and almost minimal, and then it opens up into that full backbeat feel, snare on 2 and 4, and in the end it's just full emotional lift with crashes and openness. Now I want to talk about the guitar work here. This is where I actually want to show you guys something. Alright, so basically what Brad Whitford's doing on the rhythm guitar is he's playing this clean channel, and he's just playing a simple D to A to B minor to G. And he does that for a majority of the verses. But the trick here is you want to play it almost in perfect sync. Like, he's so perfect with these chord hits, it sounds kind of radio friendly. And that's honestly why it's not a top 20 song. Brad Whitford plays exactly on the downbeat as it's happening. Joe Perry, when he plays the lead parts, and sometimes when he's doing little rhythm power chords, he's always a little bit behind the beat. And that's the trick to his style. You gotta be behind the beat, but you don't want to be so far behind the beat that it throws the rhythm off. So you gotta be lazy and sloppy, but not lazy and sloppy, if that makes sense. So for the lead part with Joe Perry, basically, how you want to play this is, you want to almost act like you're falling out of your chair as you're playing. So just kind of get sloppy and loose with it. Because this is all about feel. But don't be too sloppy and loose to the point where you're just playing noise. Now watch. The palm muting and the way I approach hitting these notes is what really gives it that Joe Perry feel. Obviously, I'm not Joe Perry, but I'm trying to get you guys as close to the original as I can. So let's see. Now, I'm not going to play the exact notes that he plays on this because, to be honest with you, it's not going to matter. Once you master that feel, as long as you're playing the right scale, you'll be able to do just as good and with your own taste to it. So check this out. We got Brad Whitford playing through this but on clean. D, and I'm just going to do like this a little bit. A, E minor, G. Let me see if I can't fix my camera so you can see it actually. Slide man, wrong way. All right, yeah, look. Okay, so E, A, B minor, and then what Joe Perry's doing is he's doing a lot of volume swells, like, so you're going to play with your little volume knobs over here. Check it. Probably can't see me. Times in my life. And then he'll come like, just kind of that little thing, but it just adds touch. Now, obviously, he's better at it than I am. And that's kind of the trick to the sound, just kind of creeping in the back, building the tension. Like, I'm just playing on the A scale right here. So, or not the A scale, but playing on the blues scale, basically working around the A power chord. Focusing on the G string and the D string mostly, and the A string here. So, check it. And then he's playing, okay, so you get the volume swells. And you'll notice he plays that in like the Rocks album too. So it's definitely not just this one song, it's kind of his style. Um, and then you just, so you can play around with that a little bit. All I'm doing is just twisting the volume knobs and kind of being precise with them, but just, there's no rhythm or rhyme to it. You just do it however it sounds nice to you. And another cool thing he's doing is these little blues licks over that progression. So he's not really playing chords like Brad Whitford, but what he's doing is, so like Steven Tyler be singing that, there were times in my life when I was going insane. And then he'll be like, or let me see, it's, I think the actual riff lick he plays at one point is 333. So a lot of full bends and a lot of blues scale type notes, just working around that A power chord, and you can come down here with the, you'll hear it. If the note's right, it'll sound right. And here's something important. This song comes from Aerosmith's early 90s comeback era, when they were rebuilding their sound and working with outside writers. Lyrically, Steven was pulling from some very real personal struggles with addiction and recovery at this time. So when you hear that emotional lift in the chorus, it's not just production, it's real life coming through the performance. And that's exactly why it's a great song. Just not quite at that untouchable level of their absolute best songs. Number 24 off their Pump album, The Other Side from 1989. This is Aerosmith at their coolest. It's got swagger, groove, attitude, and one of the funkiest pockets they ever recorded. The only reason it stops at number 24 is because while it's undeniably cool, it never quite reaches that next level of emotional impact or iconic status that the songs above it do. The song is like that guy who walks into the room wearing a leather jacket, says about 10 words all night, and somehow everybody still thinks he's the coolest guy there.
It doesn't try too hard, it just knows exactly what it is. It's in the key of E minor, and the tuning standard, like I said before. Steven Tyler almost treats this like a rap at times. The verses are rhythmic, conversational, almost teasing. Then, when the chorus comes in, he stretches everything out and gives you those huge melodic hooks without losing any of that swagger. Tom Hamilton is the secret weapon here, though. He's not just following the guitar, he's helping create the groove. Listen to how locked in he is with Joey Kramer. That's what gives this song its bounce. Joey Kramer absolutely owns this track. It's a straight ahead rock beat, but every snare hit feels deliberate, and his pocket is ridiculously deep. This isn't a flashy drum performance, it's a lesson in groove and restraint. Now we're going to break down the guitar. Okay, so for the other side, this is Brad Whitford's little part. From what I can tell, he's just chugging on the 7th fret, 9th fret power chord here. So top string, 7th fret, next two strings on the 9th, the A and the D. And he's just chugging here, like in a rhythmic kind of way. Almost sounds kind of ZZ Top-ish. You can just kind of play around with it. You're going to play exactly like him, but just get the feel for it. Very precise. And then on top of that, Joe Perry's actually playing the riff, which is... Now see how there's no real rhythm to that, but there is. It's sloppy. It's a little behind what Brad's playing because Brad's just straight hitting it. But it's just got that sleazy kind of 70s feel to it. Now I played it differently that time, but you can barely tell. It's the same kind of idea. And what you're doing is basically just working around these root notes here between the 7th and the 9th frets. One string up and one string down, because it's basically these power chords. And then you drop one. So, and that's pretty much the guitar work for that one. What's brilliant is that none of these guitar parts are difficult individually. The magic is in the feel. If you rush it or you overplay it, the whole song loses its personality. Sometimes the hardest thing to play is something that's supposed to sound effortless. And here's something cool about this one. The Other Side was co-written with songwriter Jim Vallance, who also worked with artists like Bryan Adams. Aerosmith had started embracing outside collaborators during this era, but they still made the song sound unmistakably like Aerosmith. The song also sparked a copyright dispute because of its use of a vocal phrase inspired by Curtis Mayfield's People Get Ready. Rather than becoming a prolonged fight, the publishing credits were just adjusted to acknowledge the influence. That's why The Other Side is an easy certified banger. It has groove for days, incredible attitude, and one of the coolest pockets in the Aerosmith catalog. It just doesn't quite have that career-defining moment that pushes it into heavy hitter territory. Number 23 off the Greatest Hits album, Come Together, from 1978. Covering a Beatles song is one of the hardest things you can do in rock music. 9 times out of 10, you're just reminding people how good the original was. But somehow, Aerosmith actually made this song sound like it belonged to them. This cover is like borrowing somebody else's classic muscle car, dropping a bigger engine into it, and somehow giving it back better than you found it. That's a dangerous game, but Aerosmith somehow pulled it off. It's in the key of D minor. Standard tuning again. Steven Tyler doesn't try to imitate John Lennon, and that's exactly why this works. Instead of sounding mysterious and laid back, Steven makes the song feel louder, grittier, and even more dangerous. It's still recognizable, but it's unmistakably Aerosmith. The bass is the heartbeat of the song. That famous walking groove keeps everything moving while giving the guitars plenty of room to breathe. It's simple, but if you lose that groove, the whole song loses its identity. Joey Kramer keeps the beat heavy and deliberate. There's nothing flashy here. He just leans into the groove and lets every snare hit land with authority. It's rock solid from start to finish. Now let's do the guitar breakdown on this one.
So for Come Together, basically what Brad Whitford's doing is he's playing like a, well, let me do this first because it'll be easier. Joe Perry's playing the main riff, but he's playing it dirtier and sleazier than the Beatles could ever dream of. He's starting on the 10th fret here on the E. That's not the 10th fret. Here's the 10th. And most people think he hits it again, but he doesn't. He just kind of slowly slides and lets it fade. The sound fade. That gives it that sleazy kind of sound. Watch. And then he's actually saying shut up. It took me the longest time to realize this, and my ear still refuses to hear it that way. Listen. He goes, 2 mutes on the 10. So that kind of masks the sound too, why he can pull it away. But it sounds like another downbeat, but it's really not. And add some vibrato on that last note, which is the 10th fret of the D and the G together. So it's. And then underneath that, Brad Whitford's playing something like this. It's like a descending riff playing around with the open E, open D, and then 3rd fret A, 2nd fret A, and then open. It gives it that kind of tension feel that you get with the riff with that when you put it together with Joe Perry's part. The Aerosmith recorded Come Together for the 1978 movie Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, where Steven Tyler actually appeared as the future villain band. Rather than copying the Beatles, the producer Jack Douglas encouraged the band to lean into what they already did best: dirty guitars, blues swagger, and Steven Tyler's unmistakable voice. That's a big reason this cover has stood the test of time instead of feeling like karaoke. It's one of the rare Beatles covers that fans of both bands generally respect, because Aerosmith didn't try to replace the original, they just reinterpreted it. And that's also why Come Together is an easy pick for certified banger territory. It's one of the best rock covers ever recorded because Aerosmith respected the original while still having the confidence to make it sound like their own band. It just falls short of heavy hitter status because, well, at the end of the day, it's still a cover, and the songs above it are original Aerosmith classics that define who they are a little bit better. Number 22, off the Get a Grip album from 1993, Crying. This is Aerosmith proving that you don't need the biggest riff or the flashiest solo to write a classic. Sometimes all you need is an unforgettable melody, a huge chorus, and Steven Tyler singing like his life depends on it. That's why Crying is an easy certified banger, but just misses heavy hitter status. This song is like a heavyweight boxer who wins every round with a perfect jab. It's not throwing knockout punches every 30 seconds. It's just so fundamentally sound that by the end, you realize you never had a chance. It's in the key of A major and standard tuning once again. This is one of Steven Tyler's best melodic performances. The verses are controlled and conversational, but once the chorus hits, he stretches into those huge sustained notes without ever sounding forced. That's harder to do than it sounds. Tom Hamilton does exactly what a great bass player should do. He supports the harmony, locks in with Joey Kramer on the drums, and gives the chorus that extra weight without ever becoming distracting. Joey Kramer keeps this song moving with a steady, confident groove. The drums never overplay, which is the big part here, and they simply build with the song until the chorus feels bigger than the verse. That's smart arrangement. Here's the guitar breakdown for this one. So for Crying, here is exactly what Brad Whitford's doing. He's on a clean channel again. So what he's going to be doing is, and he's doing this very precisely, but he's not killing the strings. And that's what gives it that kind of power ballad feel without destroying the actual sound of the progression. So see, he could be coming through here like, it sounds messy, it sounds forced, and it just throws the complete sound off. This song sounds beautiful, really. And it's because he knows just how to hit the chords just right to give it that flair and let Steven Tyler kind of weave in between the chord changes. So basically, what he's doing here is a masterclass in dynamics. Again, it's not hard, but a lot of guitarists just want to kill it, and it's not the best option here. So he's working on the A chord. He goes, there was a time when I was so... Oh shit, I played the wrong chord. It's a minor, not a major. Alright, let's restart that. Alright, you guys don't make fun of my singing too bad. It's 3 in the morning. So basically, here you go. You start on the A. There was a time... Go to the E. F sharp. Minor. And I was so broken hearted. Come down here. Back to the D. I wasn't much A above E. Play through it again. And E, and then he lets it linger kind of. And then it comes back in. And Joe Perry, what he's doing here is he's just basically kind of doing little fills and the volume swells like we talked about in the last one. And he's using a wah-wah pedal, which is an interesting little effect to use in this song because it really gives it that bite to go along with the heavy power chords without overdoing it on the track, since it is kind of acoustic backed. Now again, he's not just opening the wah-wah and closing it, making these loud wah sounds like you hear on like Voodoo Child. What he's doing is he's playing it so that it actually sounds like he's crying along with the song, basically. So I don't have my wah-wah with me right now, but I'll use vibrato kind of to show you. Kind of get the idea. And now we're going to hit up the last song of part 7, number 21, off their Pump album, Love in an Elevator, from 1989. This is Aerosmith doing exactly what Aerosmith does better than almost anybody. Dirty riffs, huge hooks, tongue-in-cheek lyrics, and enough swagger to fill an arena. It's one of the most fun songs they've ever written. The only reason it comes in at number 21 and not higher is because the songs above it don't just have swagger. They become defining moments in rock history. This song is like that guy who walks into a casino wearing sunglasses indoors, throws his keys to the valet without looking, and somehow actually wins. It probably shouldn't work, but the confidence is so ridiculous that you just go along for the ride. It's in the key of A major, and the tuning is standard still. Steven Tyler is having an absolute blast on this track. The verses are playful, full of character, and packed with little vocal inflections that make the lyrics come alive. Then the chorus explodes into one of the catchiest hooks Aerosmith's ever written. It's theatrical without feeling forced. Tom Hamilton quietly glues this whole thing together, though. He's following the groove, reinforcing Joe's riff, and adding just enough movement to keep everything bouncing. It's another reminder that great rock bass isn't always flashy.
It's about making everybody else sound better. Joey Kramer really drives this song with a straight ahead rock beat that's all about power and consistency. The fills never get in the way, and every crash cymbal feels earned. He's given the song energy without ever pulling attention away from the riff. Here's the guitar breakdown for this one. What I love about Joe Perry's playing is he never overcomplicates a great riff. The parts are actually pretty approachable, but if you don't play them with the confidence and the swing, they completely lose their personality. This song isn't testing your fingers, it's testing your feel. Steven Tyler came up with the idea for Love in an Elevator after a real elevator ride in a hotel. It also became the lead single from Pump, announcing that Aerosmith wasn't just back. They were entering one of the strongest commercial runs of their entire career. The song helped set the tone for an album that would produce multiple major hits. It's a perfect example of Aerosmith taking a ridiculous concept, committing to it 100%, and making it sound effortlessly cool instead of gimmicky. That's why Love in an Elevator is an easy certified banger for me. It's pure rock and roll, infectious riffs, huge hooks, killer performances, and a personality that jumps out of the speakers. It just misses tier 9 because the other songs on this list are so much better. So for this one, Brad Whitford's basically just hitting the power chords, and the chorus with such a full sound and exact precision like we talked about. I hate to keep saying that, but that's just basically his style of play. It's so precise. And Joe Perry, he's playing the iconic intro riff by barely touching the slide onto the strings. I don't have my slide, so I can't really play it for you. But the thing is, most idiots will push down too hard on the slide, and that's one quick way to screw up the sound of this riff. You want to be gentle, and you just want to barely graze, just enough to make the sound, you know what I mean, come across, make the slide make the difference in the sound. But you don't want to like shove it all the way down and make all the, because what that does is it presses all the strings down and it makes this like fat kind of messy sound, and you don't want that. It doesn't sound like the song. So remember, be nice and gentle when you're playing the riff. Like I said, I don't have my slider, I'd play it for you right now, but like I said, it's all about feel, and you don't have to kill it. Starting with number 20, Mama Kin. We're officially in the top 20, and we're kicking the door down with the song that basically is Aerosmith. If this riff doesn't make you want to drive a car through a barn, you might be listening to the wrong channel. It's at number 20 because while it's the ultimate mission statement, it's the raw blueprint for the polished gems coming up next. This song is like a shot of cheap whiskey at 2 a.m. It's not sophisticated, it's definitely going to leave a mark, but it's exactly what you need to get the party started. Steven Tyler was so confident in this song that he actually got a tattoo of Mama Kin on his arm before the band even made it big. That's not just confidence. That's I have no plan B energy. The vocals here is pure grit. This is before the Demon of Screamin' became a polished stadium act. He sounds like he's singing through a layer of dust. Joey Kramer and Tom Hamilton are in the pocket right here. Notice how the bass and drums aren't just playing the beat, they're pushing it. It feels like the song is constantly leaning forward. And of course Brad Whitford's the anchor. While Joe is flying around, Brad's holding it down with those iconic chords with a tone that sounds like a cranked up small amp on the verge of exploding. Most people play this riff too cleanly, and that's honestly the secret. You want to be a little sloppy like we talked about. Another little secret here is it's all in upstrokes. So when you're playing the guitar, make sure you're just doing upstrokes with the chords. It's a minor detail, but it really does make the sound so close to Joe Perry that you'll actually feel like you're creating something. Up next, we got number 19, Home Tonight, off the Rocks album from 1976. This is the ultimate curtain closer. This is the final track of Rocks, and it feels like the sun coming up after a 3-day bender. It's here because it shows a side of Aerosmith that just isn't sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's vulnerable, it's epic, and it features one of the most underrated vocal performances in history. This song is like that one friend who's the life of the party all night, but then at 4 a.m., they sit down at a piano and start playing something beautiful, and it just makes everyone stop talking. It's the unexpected soul of this band. Even though it sounds like a massive production, Steven Tyler actually wrote the lyrics on a total whim. It was originally just a piano doodle that turned into one of the most powerful power ballads of the 70s. He's using his sweet register here. This isn't the rasp, It's the melody. It's a masterclass in how to build a vocal from a whisper to a scream. Listen to the snare on Joey Kramer's drums. He isn't just hitting it, he's letting it breathe. He's playing behind the beat, here to give the song that heavy, dragging feel that makes it feel so grand. This is where Hamilton is a genius. Instead of just following the piano, he takes his bass and plays these melodic runs that fill the space. He's basically playing a second melody from underneath the guitars, and Brad Whitford provides the wall. His rhythm work here is what gives the song its Rocks era weight. It's thick, it's saturated, and it's steady. Most people think this is just a piano song, but the guitar secrets here are what make it a rock classic. The mistake most guitar players make when they're trying to play this is they use too much gain. You don't want to do that. You actually want less distortion and more volume. That's the trick here. Number 18, Same Old Song and Dance, off the Get Your Wings album from 1974. So basically at number 18, we have the ultimate strut song. If you've ever wondered why people call Aerosmith the American Rolling Stones, this is Exhibit A. It's sitting here because it's the first time the band truly found that sleazy groove that would define their entire career. It's catchy, it's dangerous, and it's a riff lover's dream. This song is like a leather jacket that's been through a fire, soaked in bourbon, and then run over by a truck. It's got holes in it. It smells a little weird, but it looks cooler than anything else in the room. The iconic horn section in this song wasn't actually supposed to happen. It was producer Jack Douglas that suggested it, and the band was really skeptical because they didn't want to add brass to a hard rock track. But once they heard how it complemented the riff, they realized it turned a rock song into a freaking hit. Steven's leaning into the slur here. Notice how he doesn't enunciate the words perfectly. It's more about the sound of his voice. He's treating his voice like a third guitar, just sliding through the phrases. For Joey, the hi-hat work here is the MVP. He's playing a very disco-adjacent beat, but hitting it with the power of a sledgehammer. That's what makes you want to move your feet. This is one of Tom Hamilton's best walking bass lines. He isn't just sitting on the root note, he's playing a blues scale run that creates a conversation with the guitar riff. While Joe takes the flash, Brad is the one that's holding the rhythm down with a tone that's mid-range, heavy, and punchy. He's the reason the song feels so thick. One little secret on this one, if you want to play like Joe Perry, is the muted ghost notes. Between those main chords, there are these tiny percussive-like scratches where his left hand is just barely touching the strings. If you play it cleanly, it sounds like a pop song. So to get his vibe, you have to add the dirt between the notes. At number 17, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing from 1998. Alright, put the pitchforks down and hear me out. At number 17, we have the biggest commercial hit of their entire career. It's the song that introduced Aerosmith to a whole new generation, and Steven's vocal performance is quite literally a masterclass in power. Why is it only at 17? Because while it's a brilliant song, it's not a brilliant Aerosmith song. Let's be real. It was written by Diane Warren, not the Toxic Twins, and it lacks that dirt we've been talking about. It's a Ferrari in a showroom, beautiful, but I'd rather see them driving a beat-up muscle car through a mud pit. This song is like that one guy who shows up to a biker bar in a tuxedo. He looks fantastic, he smells great, and everyone respects him, but he's definitely not going to be the guy starting the bar fight. Believe it or not, this song was originally intended for U2 or Celine Dion. They were both pitched the song and turned it down. Can you imagine I Don't Want to Miss a Thing as a Celine Dion ballad? That would be crazy. But anyway, Steven Tyler heard it, and he put his own Demon of Screaming spin on it, and the rest is history. And speaking of Steven, his performance here is 10 out of 10 vocal control. The way he transitions from that intimate whisper at the start to that vein-popping final chorus is why he's one of the greatest to ever do it. Joey's playing with incredible restraint here. He's not doing any of his signature funky fills, he's just playing for the song, acting as the heartbeat for that massive orchestra. Very underrated playing here, too. Tom provides the foundation here, and in a track with 40 violins, the bass honestly needs to be steady, and he pulls it off. He keeps it grounded so the song doesn't float away into pure pop territory. Brad's role here is basically about the swell. He's using volume pedals and clean textures to add the depth to the verses before joining Joe for those big power chords in the chorus. And for Joe Perry, Since there isn't a riff in the traditional sense, the secret here is the arpeggios and the voicing. At number 16, from their Permanent Vacation album from 1987, Angel. Here we have the song that proved Aerosmith could rule the 80s just as hard as they ruled the 70s. Angel is a massive power ballad and, in my personal opinion, a very underrated track. But unlike the previous track, this one has that Desmond Child and Steven Tyler DNA baked into it. It's here because it's a perfect bridge between their bluesy roots and their stadium filling future. It's polished, sure, but it still has that toxic twin swagger hidden in the layers. This song is like Joe Perry wearing a silk scarf over a leather vest. It's a little bit fancy, a little bit pretty, but you still wouldn't want to mess with the guy wearing it. Despite being one of their biggest hits, Joe Perry famously wasn't a huge fan of this song at first. He reportedly felt it was a bit too poppy for the band's direction. But once it hit number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, I think everyone decided they could live with it. This is Steven Tyler at his most melodic. He's hitting those high notes with a clean power that most singers would kill for. But he still throws in those signature Tylerisms, the little growls and ad-libs that keep it from being a generic pop song. Joey's playing stadium drums here. Everything is big, gated, and heavy. He's hitting the snare like he's trying to reach the back row of an arena. Now Tom's bass line is surprisingly busy here. He's playing with these niche melodic fills during the verses that give the song a moving feeling, preventing it from getting too stagnant during the quiet parts. And Brad is providing the shimmer. He's using a lot of chorus and delay on his clean parts to give that 80s dreamy texture before the big distorted chords kick in. Now the secret to Angel isn't just the big chords. It's the dynamic shift between the verse and the chorus. So for Joe Perry's part, be ready on the volume knobs for some of those volume swells. Coming in at number 15, off their Get a Grip album from 1993, Crazy. This is the final chapter of the Cryin', an amazing trilogy. This song is the definition of 90s Aerosmith cool. It's here because it's a perfect example of how the band took a standard blues structure and dressed it up in a tuxedo for MTV. It's got soul, it's got that iconic video, but more importantly, it has some of the tastiest guitar combo between Joe and Brad that they ever put to tape. This song is like a really high-end blue cheese. It's sophisticated, it's expensive, and it's a little bit stinky in the best way possible. It's got that fermented blues soul underneath all the 90s production. The song actually won a Grammy for Best Rock Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocal. But the real crazy part, the music video was the film debut of Liv Tyler, Steven Tyler's daughter. And Steven Tyler is absolutely showboating here, in a good way. The harmonica work on the intro, first of all, is some of his best. And that crazy scream at the end is legendary. Joey Kramer is doing something very subtle here. He's playing a halftime feel during the verses that makes the song feel way heavier than a typical ballad. He's the anchor. Tom Hamilton, what can I say? This is a money bass line. Tom is playing a very rhythmic, syncopated line that follows the kick drum perfectly. It gives the song that head nod groove. Mr. Whitford is the secret weapon, though. He's playing those beautiful, clean, Jimi Hendrix style double stops in the background that fill the space without stepping on the vocals. And Joe Perry, he's basically giving you a masterclass of the push and pull of the blues. Now his big secret on this one, honestly, is that he's using a cocked wah. And what that means is you take the wah-wah pedal and you find a good middle ground in between up and closed, and you just want to leave it there. And it gives it that kind of vocal quality, almost like the guitar is singing. And coming in at number 14, off their Get a Grip album from 1993, Line Up. If you think that you're strong, wanna fight, well come on and line up. This song is actually the one from Ace Ventura. I'm not even kidding, it took me a long time to realize that, and honestly, it just gives the song bonus points for me. We're hitting the gas with a track that most greatest hits listeners have completely forgotten about, and that is a crime. Line Up is Aerosmith at their most collaborative and funky. It's here because it features a guest writing credit from none other than Lenny Kravitz, and you can feel that soul rock energy dripping off every note. It's a high-speed chase in song form. This track is a shot of espresso mixed with a bottle of hot sauce. It's fast, it's spicy, and it's going to keep you awake whether you like it or not. It's the musical equivalent of a frantic Saturday night. And another little fun fact, Lenny Kravitz didn't just help write the song, he actually sings backing vocals on it too. If you listen closely to the line up shouts, you can definitely hear him. Steven Tyler, he's at his most percussive here. He's almost rapping the verses with that rapid fire delivery. It's a reminder that Tyler's timing is just as good as any drummer's. Mr. Kramer here, he's doing a workout. He's playing a very straight ahead driving beat, but he's hitting it with so much snap that it keeps the song from feeling like a generic rocker. Tom Hamilton, he gets to be the star on this one. The bass line and lineup is pure funk. He's playing a busy, walking line that provides the actual melody for the verses, while the guitars are still doing rhythm stabs. And Brad's playing the percussion role on guitar almost. He's using very tight, muted chords to emphasize the rhythm. He's not playing big, he's playing smart. And Joe Perry, his secret here is silence. And what I mean by that is, you want to hit the chord and then immediately kill the sound with your left hand to create that stop start tension that makes people want to dance. Number 13 off the Pump album from 1989, Janie's Got a Gun. At number 13, we have a masterpiece of dark storytelling. This isn't just a rock song, it's a cinematic experience. It's sitting here because it proved Aerosmith could handle heavy, taboo subjects with a level of sophistication that most of their hair metal peers couldn't touch. Between the eerie synth bass and that haunting melody, it's one of the most complete compositions they've ever released. This song is like a noir film directed by a rock star. It's dark, it's moody, it's got a plot twist that hits you right in the gut. It's the musical equivalent of a rainy night in a city where everybody's got a secret. The song originally had a much more graphic lyric in the chorus that the record label made Steven change. Now, this is some of Steven's best lyrical work, if you ask me. He moves from a narrative storyteller voice in the verses to that pained, soaring cry in the chorus. He's acting as much as he's singing, really. And Joey's drumming here is all about the echo. He's playing very sparsely, leaving huge gaps of silence for the atmosphere to fill, and every snare hit sounds like a gunshot in a canyon. This is arguably Tom Hamilton's most iconic moment. The opening bass line isn't just a riff, it's the heartbeat of the entire song. He's using a very wet, chorus heavy tone that gives that underwater eerie feel. And Brad is the texture master here. He's playing those clean, haunting notes in the background that sound like they're weeping. He's not playing a riff, he's painting a scene. And Joe Perry, he's playing ghost notes and it's basically giving you a masterclass in vibrato. So the secret here is to use your neck pickup and roll the tone knob down slightly. You want the guitar to sound distant, like it's coming from another room. Another thing is, when you hit that bend, you want to do a slow bend. You want to transition the note. Don't just bend it to the pitch immediately. Torture the string a little bit. It adds to that feeling of tension and unease. Coming in at number 12 off the Rocks album from 1976, Nobody's Fault. For this one, we're turning the volume up to 11. If you think Aerosmith is just a radio band, this track will punch you right in the mouth. It's sitting here because it's a masterpiece of early American heavy metal. It's dark, it's apocalyptic, and it features some of the most complex rhythmic shifts the band ever attempted. This is the song that bands like Metallica point to and say that's why they started playing. Almost like a tectonic plate shift in the middle of a rock concert. One second you're nodding your head, the next second the ground is opening up and swallowing the stage. It's pure, unfiltered chaos. This song was actually inspired by Steven Tyler's genuine fear of earthquakes while the band was staying in Maui. But the craziest part, the crunch you hear on the guitars was achieved by Chad Douglas pushing the studio preamps so hard they were actually starting to smoke. They literally almost burned the studio down to get this sound. This is Panic Tyler. He's singing like the world is actually ending. The way he hits those high notes over the bridge is terrifyingly good. This is a masterclass in the heavy groove for Joey. Most drummers would just blast through this, but Joey keeps that signature Aerosmith swing even while playing at maximum intensity. And Tom is playing a crush tone here. He's following the guitar riff note for note, which creates a wall of sound that feels like a physical weight on your chest. And Brad Whitford actually wrote the main riff. This is proof that Brad is the architect of heavy in the band. While Joe is the fire, Brad is the foundation. And the secret for Joe Perry's part here is the unison bends and the chugging he's doing. Don't think of chug like modern metal. You want more of percussive palm muting with your hands. The goal here is to get that doom feel. And coming in at number 11 off the Rocks album from 1976, Last Child. We've reached the doorstep of the top 10. and we're closing out part 8 with the ultimate cool song. Last Child is the definition of Aerosmith's funk rock identity. It's sitting here at number 11 because it features what might be the most infectious, hip-shaking riff ever written by a human being. It's sophisticated, it's bluesy, and it proves that Brad Whitford is a secret weapon of riff craft. This song is like a cat walking across a fence. It's got this effortless, slinky grace to it. It's a little bit unpredictable. It looks cooler than you ever will without even trying. The iconic intro, that dreamy clean guitar, was actually inspired by a banjo part Steven Tyler heard. Brad Whitford took that idea and turned it into a masterpiece of guitar layering. Also, the shouting at the end of the track, it's actually the band's roadies and friends joined in a circle to give it that street party vibe. Pretty cool. Steven Tyler, he's using his lower register grit here. He isn't screaming, he's speaking the blues. It's all about the phrasing, the way he stretches the words to fit the groove. This is a masterclass in the ghost note for Joey Kramer. If you listen to Joey's snare, he's hitting these tiny quiet notes in between the big beats. That's what gives the song its shuffle. Tom Hamilton is playing a walking line that feels like it's pulling the song forward. He and Joey are so locked in right here that they feel like a single instrument. It's actually pretty crazy. And this is Brad's crowning achievement. He wrote this riff, and he plays it with a tone that's clean enough to hear the notes, but dirty enough to feel the grit. The secret to Last Child is all about the elasticity of the riff for Joe Perry. On those big chords in the chorus, don't just strum down. Use a quick up and down flick of the wrist. It needs to sound like a whip cracking. If it's too smooth, it's not Aerosmith.
Radio has brainwashed you into thinking Dream On is the greatest Aerosmith song ever. But they're wrong. I'm going to show you the real number one. Here's the top 10 Aerosmith songs of all time. We're going to kick things off with number 10, Train Kept a Rollin', off the Get Your Wings album from 1974. This is the final gatekeeper of Tier 9. It's the ultimate cover that Aerosmith essentially stole and made their own. It's at number 10 because while it's a high-octane masterpiece, it's a sprint, not a marathon. It's the song that proved this band could take a blues standard and weaponize it for arenas. This song is like a freight train with no brakes, headed straight towards a cliff. You know how it's going to end, but the ride is so intense you don't even care about the crash. The live crowd noise you hear on the Get Your Wings version, completely fake. They recorded the track in a studio and then dubbed in crowd screams from a George Harrison concert. It's one of the greatest studio magic tricks in rock history. This is a pure cardio workout for Joey Kramer. The shuffle feel at this tempo is what separates the pros from the amateurs. If his timing slips by a millisecond, the whole song falls apart. Tom Hamilton is the glue. While the guitars are screaming, Tom is holding down a relentless, driving line that keeps the train on the tracks, so to speak. Steven Tyler isn't just singing, he's conducting the chaos here. Those scat vocals and harmonica hits are what give the song its dangerous, unhinged energy. And for the guitars on this one, during the studio version, producer Jack Douglas actually hired 2 session pros, Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner, to play the guitars. So this is not Joe Perry and Brad Whitford, this is Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner. And let's be real, these guys brought a technical precision that gave the band the blueprint they'd use to melt faces live for the next 50 years. So still shout out here to Joe and Brad, because this became their signature dual lead showdown in live shows. They took that studio blueprint and added the grit and swing that only the Toxic Twins could provide. Coming in at number 9, we have Kings and Queens from the 1977 album Draw the Line. This is the first Hall of Fame level entry for a reason. It's in tier 10 because it's the most sophisticated, atmospheric, and haunting thing they ever recorded. It's at number 9 because while it isn't their biggest radio hit, it's their greatest artistic achievement. It's the sound of a band at the edge of a cliff, making absolute magic before the fall. The song is like a vintage bottle of $500 wine being served at a demolition derby. It has no business being that sophisticated, given the chaos happening around it, but it's so damn good, you stop watching the cars just to appreciate the taste. The bass sound at the beginning isn't actually a bass guitar. It's a bass marimba. Jack Douglas brought it in to give the intro that eerie wooden graveyard resonance that a standard Fender Precision just couldn't hit. It's pure studio genius. Joey Kramer's playing with massive restraint here. We talk about this a lot with his style, but he's pretty good at it. Those heavy booming fills in the chorus feel like a giant heartbeat. He isn't overplaying, he's building a fortress. This is one of Tom's finest hours. He's not just playing the root notes, he's playing a counter melody that gives the song its regal, walking through a castle vibe. This is Steven Tyler's most poetic performance. No screaming for the sake of screaming, just cold, calculated delivery that tells a story. He sounds like a narrator in a dark fantasy. This is Brad Whitford's masterpiece. He wrote the music, and his lead work here is Liquid Fire. It's melodic, tragic, and technically flawless. Joe Perry provides the texture. While Brad is handling the heavy lifting on the melody, Joe adds the grit and the slide parts that keep it from sounding too polished. The 8th greatest song in Aerosmith history is gonna surprise you. From their 1982 album Rockin' a Hard Place, we have She's on Fire. This is probably the biggest shock of the countdown, and I don't care. It's at number 8 because it is quite simply the filthiest groove this band ever laid down. People dismiss this era because Joe Perry wasn't there, but if you have ears, you can't deny this track. It's tier 10 because it's Aerosmith at their most dangerous, most desperate, and most street. This song is like a car you found in a junkyard that somehow beats a Ferrari in a drag race. It looks a little beat up, nobody expects it to win, but once it starts moving, it leaves everyone else in the dust. And to be quite honest, this track almost didn't happen because the band was in total shambles. Steven Tyler actually collapsed in the studio while trying to record the vocals for this album. The fact that they pulled a groove this tight out of that much chaos is a literal miracle of rock and roll. This right here is arguably Joey's best recorded performance. That opening beat isn't just a rhythm, it's an assault. He's playing with a level of stink that you just can't teach. Tom is the MVP here. He and Joey are locked in a pocket so deep, you could get lost in it. His bass line is the engine that makes this entire track feel like it's vibrating. Steven Tyler sounds completely unhinged in the best way possible. There's a rasp and a desperation in his voice here that he never quite captured again. He's singing for his life on this one. And shout out to Jimmy Crespo. Respect the man. He had the impossible job of replacing Joe Perry during this era, and he delivered. His guitar work is jagged, aggressive, and fits the cocaine-fueled energy of the 80s perfectly. Rick Dufay provides the wall of sound. He keeps the rhythm guitar thick and nasty, allowing Jimmy Crespo to fly around on those sharp, biting leads. The 7th greatest Aerosmith song in history. Dude Looks Like a Lady off the Permanent Vacation album from 1987. This is the comeback of all comebacks. It's at number 7 because it's a masterclass in how to write a stadium anthem that still has teeth. Most bands from the 70s died in the 80s. Aerosmith just got louder. It's tier 10 because it's the perfect marriage of Joe Perry's grit and the biggest hooks in rock history. This song is like a neon-lit nightclub that still serves warm beer and has sawdust on the floor. It looks polished and flashy on the outside, but once you're inside, it's still a bar fight waiting to happen. The title actually came from a night out with Motley Crue. Get this, Steven saw Vince Neil from behind, with his long blonde hair and slim build, and actually muttered, "Dude looks like a lady." They turned that moment of confusion into a multi-platinum hit. So, shout out to Vince Neil for being the subject of one of the greatest rock songs ever. I'm sure he wasn't happy about it. The big beat era starts here. Joey's drums on this track sound like they were recorded in a canyon. He's simplified the groove to make it hit like a sledgehammer. Tom is playing for the song here. He's holding down that rock solid foundation that allows the horns and the guitars to go absolutely wild. This is peak modern Steven. His phrasing is rhythmic, almost like a rapper, and those high velocity dude screams are stuff of legend. This is Joe's Rebirth riff. It's bouncy, it's infectious. It's arguably the most recognizable guitar part of the late 80s. Brad is the secret weapon on this one. While Joe is handling the iconic main riff, Brad is layering in those thick, crunchy power chords that give the chorus its massive weight. Coming in at number 6, off the Pump album from 1989, you guessed it, What It Takes. This is the gold standard for rock ballads. It's at number 6 because it's a masterclass in songwriting and dynamic tension. It starts as a lonely campfire story and ends as a stadium-sized hurricane. It's tier 10 because it proves that even when they were at their most commercial, they were still the most talented musicians in the room. The song is like a guy who's 3 drinks deep at a bar telling you about his ex. At first, you're just being polite and listening, but by the end of the story, you're both standing on the table screaming the lyrics together. That hidden intro that sounds like a carnival or a weird polka band, that was a complete accident. It's actually a recording of the band messing around during a rehearsal break, and producer Bruce Fairbairn loved the vibe so much, he tacked it onto the front of one of the biggest hits of the decade. Joey is the king of the slow build here. He stays out of the way during the verses, but when the chorus hits, he brings the thunder. His snare sound on this track is arguably the best of his career. Tom provides the melodic heart. His bass line under the country verses is incredibly tasteful, moving with the chords to give the song its emotional pull. This is a vocal clinic from Steven Tyler. From the low register rasp in the beginning to that iconic lung-busting high note at the end, this is Steven showing every other singer in the world how it's actually done. Joe brings the twang by using a slightly cleaner, country-influenced tone for the verses. He creates a contrast that makes the distorted solo feel 10 times heavier. And Brad, I hate to keep using this term, but he is the wall of sound in the chorus. He provides that thick, sustained layer of rhythm guitar that makes the transition from the country verse to the rock chorus feel like a bomb going off. At number 5, from their Toys in the Attic album, 1975, we have Sweet Emotion. This isn't just a song, it's a cultural reset. It's at number 5 because it contains the most famous bass intro in the history of the world. It's tier 10 because it's the perfect example of space funk. It's heavy, it's psychedelic, and it has a swagger that no other band on the planet could replicate. This is the DNA of Aerosmith. This song is like that one guy at the party who doesn't say a word for 3 hours, but he's wearing a velvet jacket and sunglasses indoors, so you just know he's cooler than you. You don't ask questions, you just let him vibe. That hypnotic shimmering sound you hear during the intro, that's not a synthesizer. It's actually a bag of sugar being shaken in front of the microphone. They tried every percussion instrument in the studio, but nothing hit that specific frequency like a bag of domino sugar. Literally sweet emotion. Now for this one, Mr. Tom Hamilton. This is his house. He wrote that bass line, and it's the most important 4 bars in the band's history. He's playing with a lazy pocket that makes the whole track feel like it's leaning back in a recliner. Joey is playing around the bass here. He's not just hitting 4/4 time, he's adding these little syncopated ghost notes on the snare that give the song its funky hip-hop before hip-hop kind of feel. This is Steven at his most mystical. The lyrics are a direct shot at Joe Perry's wife at the time, but he delivers them with such a cool, detached vibe that you'd never know he was actually venting. And for Joe Perry on this one, we gotta talk about the talk box. Joe took a weird guitar effect and made it a household name. He isn't overplaying. He's creating an atmosphere that feels like a drug trip in a 1975 Chevy van. Brad is the rhythmic anchor, while Joe's messing with the talk box and Tom is sliding around that bass. Brad is holding down those crunchy, disciplined chords that keep the song from floating away into space. Coming in at number 4, off the Rocks album from 1976, Back in the Saddle. This is the heaviest song they ever wrote, period. It's at number 4 because it's the sonic definition of rocks. It's tier 10 because it's the most intimidating opening track in history. From the moment that 6-string bass starts growling, you know you're in for a fight. This isn't just rock, it's a lifestyle. This song is like a massive bull that's been locked in a dark pen for 3 days. The second you open the gate, it's not looking for food. It's looking for something to break. You either hang on for dear life or you get trampled. That whip sound you hear at the end,
It's not a sound effect from a library. To get it right, they actually brought a real bullwhip into the studio. Brad and Joe tried to use it, but they almost took their own eyes out. So they had to record the crack very carefully while everyone else stood back in terror. This is Joe's signature moment. He isn't playing a normal guitar here. He's playing a Fender bass VI, a 6-string bass. That's why the riff sounds so incredibly thick and bottom heavy. It's a masterclass in tone. Joey is playing like he's trying to break drum heads. Those tribal floor tom heavy fills aren't just rhythms, they're war drums. He's the engine of the stampede. While Joe is playing the high register bass riff, Tom Hamilton is underneath him with a massive distorted low end. The two of them together create a wall of growling that most metal bands would kill for. This is the cowboy from hell, Steven Tyler. The screaming, the whistling, the heavy breathing. He's playing a character here, and it's the most alpha version of Steven Tyler that ever existed. Brad is the unsung hero of the vibe. While the chaos is happening, he's providing the screeching, feedback-drenched lead textures that make the song feel like it's actually dangerous to listen to. We've reached the top 3. These are podium songs from Aerosmith. I cannot undersell the importance of these 3 tracks enough to you guys. So coming in at number 3, off the Toys in the Attic album from 1975, Walk This Way. This is the most famous riff in the history of American rock. It's at number 3 because it represents the absolute peak of the band's groove era. It's in the Hall of Fame because it's the song that bridges the gap between every genre. If you can't get a party started with this track, the party is already dead. It is the gold standard of swagger. The song is like a pair of perfectly broken-in leather boots. It doesn't matter how old they get or how many times you wear them, they still look cool, they still feel dangerous, and they're never going to go out of style. The title actually came from a movie. The band went to see Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein during a break in the studio. There's a scene where Marty Feldman tells Gene Wilder to walk this way, and he limps across the floor. The band thought this was so hilarious that they brought the phrase back to the studio, and the legend was born. Joey Kramer, this is his funkiest hour. That opening drum break is so iconic, it became one of the most sampled beats in hip-hop history. He's playing with a New Orleans grease that most rock drummers can't even touch. Tom is the secret sauce, once again. He's playing a very busy, very melodic line that locks perfectly into Joey's kick drum. He's the reason the song makes you want to move. This is the birth of rapping Tyler. The verses are pure rhythmic percussion. He's using his voice as a drum kit, hitting the consonants so hard they feel like snare hits. For Joe Perry, we gotta talk about the riff. It's a chromatic masterpiece that every guitar player tries to learn, and most play wrong. It's sharp, it's biting, and it's arguably his most famous contribution to music. Brad is the muscle in the chorus. While Joe is dancing around the main riff, Brad is providing the thick, sustained power chords that give the Walk This Way hook its massive stadium-sized impact. Coming in at number 2, we have the shocker of all shockers. Off their original Aerosmith album from 1973, we have Dream On. This is the stairway to heaven of American rock. It's at number 2 because it's the blueprint for every power ballad that followed. It's tier 10 because it's a vocal and emotional miracle. Steven Tyler wrote this when he was practically a kid, and it has the wisdom and pain of a man who's lived 1,000 lives. It's the song that proved Aerosmith wasn't just a bar band, they were icons in the making. The song is like that one high school photo where you actually looked incredible. You might have changed your hair, your clothes, and your attitude a dozen times since then, but that one shot is the permanent proof that you've always had the it factor. Steven Tyler spent 6 years writing this song on a Steinway upright piano his father gave him. But the real kicker, he actually used a different voice. If you listen to the rest of the first album, he's using a bluesy growl, but for Dream On, he used his real voice because he was afraid he sounded too much like a kid. He was literally acting until he hit that final scream. For Steven Tyler, this is his Sistine Chapel. The transition from the delicate, haunting verses to that final world-shaking high C scream is the greatest vocal journey in rock history. Joe plays with incredible maturity here. He isn't trying to shred, he's playing those clean, ringing arpeggios that give the song its gothic atmosphere. Brad is the glue once again. He provides the heavy, distorted layers during the climax that make the song transition from a piano piece into a full-blown rock anthem. Tom's bass line is subtle but essential. He follows the piano melody during the verses, providing a pulse that feels like a ticking clock. Joey's entrance halfway through the song is one of the most satisfying moments in music. He brings the weight and the slow burn energy that carries the song to the finish line. Before I reveal to you guys the greatest Aerosmith song of all time, take a minute to think about the fact that this is the only channel that actually is doing a deep dive into every single song. You will not find this anywhere else on YouTube. We're doing every demo, every unreleased track, every live cover, and every studio track in every band's history that we cover. Now let's get back on track. The greatest Aerosmith song of all time is on their 1987 Permanent Vacation album, and the name of that track is Ragdoll. This is it, the number one spot. I know some of you are throwing your phones right now because it's not Dream On, but hear me out. Ragdoll is the most Aerosmith song they ever recorded. It has the shuffle, that slide guitar, the horns, and a groove so deep you could bury a Cadillac in it. It's the greatest song they ever did because it represents the band at their absolute peak of confidence. This is the King of the Mountain. This song is like a 1950s hot rod that's been fitted with a jet engine and neon lights. It's vintage, it's modern, it's flashy, and it's loud. But at its core, it's still just pure, unadulterated American muscle. The song was originally titled Ragtime, but John Kalodner, the legendary A&R man, hated it. He sat the band down and told them the title was garbage. And to be honest, he was right. They spent hours brainstorming until Jim Valance suggested Ragdoll. Steven Tyler resisted at first, but once they locked into that specific rhyme scheme, the greatest groove of the 80s was born. This is what we call the Kramer Shuffle. This beat is the backbone of the entire track. It's not just a rhythm, it's a swagger. He's playing between the beats in a way that makes it impossible not to move. Play this track and try not to dance to it. I dare you. Tom is playing a walking bass line that sounds like it came straight out of a 1940s jazz club, but he's playing it through a wall of Ampeg stacks. It's the secret to the song's swing. This is peak lyrical Steven Tyler. The rapid delivery, the scat singing, and the iconic "Yes, I'm Changing." He's not just singing, he's conducting the entire circus. And Mr. Joe Perry on that slide. Joe Perry on slide guitar is a dangerous thing. He gives the song its stink. It's jagged, it's greasy, and it's the lead voice of the track. Brad provides the chop. While Joe is sliding around, Brad is playing these tight percussive rhythm parts that keep the song from sounding too loose. He's the anchor of the groove.
There it is, the definitive list. If you're mad, good. It means you were actually paying attention. I'm not here to be another YouTube fanboy who tells you every song is awesome. I'm here to give you the truth. The Aerosmith chapter is almost over, and the next band on the chopping block is already being put to the test. Tune in next episode to see which band we're putting under the microscope this time. If you want the real takes, you know what to do. If you want a safe space for your nice guy feelings, go somewhere else. Peace.